doing, Mommy? Welcome to Body
Oh,
Story.
you know what, daughter? Thank you. Thanks for having me. I've been dropping major hints like, when's my turn? And so Coco, I didn't get permission first to do this, but I figured we was going to be talking some pretty heavy duty stuff. So I poured myself a little glass of vino.
Good for you. I have some tea. Oh,
Okay,
we
well,
gotta have like
cheers.
another worky
Here,
call
kiddo.
after this.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mom.
Yes,
Cheers,
yes. Okay.
ding.
All right.
Well, welcome to Body Story, Mom. You are probably a legend in the eyes of many viewers that are going to be watching this.
Oh gosh, girl. I get so embarrassed by that, Coco. I know y'all don't think I do, but I do. Okay, go ahead.
Well, Mom, I want to really treat you like all of my, interviewees. The difference is with you, I've already put in my head I want to do a three-part series with you. So for people that are watching this, they're going to get more of Tina Benitez because I just feel, Body Story, Mom, I'm your daughter. This is a project that I've dreamt about. So I feel like there's just our conversations, the layers are going to get really deep.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to impact moms watching,
And you know what, Coco, let me say this before I forget, because I've heard several women say this to you. And as much as I've done in my life, and I've been interviewed, I've had, my heyday, days in the sun and all that type of stuff where I've been asked questions for whatever reason and whatnot, but I have never been asked what my body story is. You're the first to really ever ask me, what's my body story? And leading up to today, I was like, well, hell, what is my body story? Because I don't know if I've got one that's like cookie cutter, but I want you to know that I second and third and fourth what the other ladies have told you is that it's the first time anyone's really asked me my body story. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, Mom. And what excites me most about this is I just know I'm going to learn something new. I know I'm going to learn something new, and I'm your daughter. I feel like we've had all the stories that have been told, but I know something's going to come out. I just know it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited, Mom. We're just going to rock and jump right into it. And there's no structure. The only question.
It's making sure is your name turned around on here, Coco? Can you tell?
Yep, it sure is.
That's
it's
you.
That's
Coco, I literally left it there and it's still been okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
If Satana was here or any of the other sisters, they'd be turning it around to their name. So here it is. All right, Coco.
Take a nice deep breath, Mom. Welcome to Body Story. And I'm just curious, before we even start with the first question, I want you to introduce yourself, who you are, your name, where you live, what you do for a living, and why you said yes to telling your body story today.
So my government name is Rowena Berthina Benitez Clark. And that's both those names together, of course. I just say got to get credit for both of them, Coco. Okay. That's an inside family thing. Anyway, I live in Waldorf, Maryland. I retired out of the Air Force after 26 years in 2007. And I got to DC because, of course, this is where you were teaching for Teach for America. And it was my very last assignment ever in the military. And you were already here. And when they told me Bowling Air Force Base was on the list, I was like, bet it up. And I got here, and that's, because you were here and it just was the right thing to do, and I stayed. And so moved out to the burbs after I retired. And, but I'm not done moving, lily pad. I've got a couple of more years. And then, as you know, daughter, your mother is heading to Tampa, Florida, where
beach life.
Yeah, well, I would be retired. And so I am a employee of the federal government still. And I absolutely love what I do, although I think there are moments now that I'm starting to feel a little worn out sometime, Coco, solving problems and hearing people problems and issues. And these are heavy hitters. Sometimes it can kind of wear on you just a tad bit. And that's why I think I know it's probably time for me to hang up my hat pretty soon. So I am an specialist, which is an equal employment opportunity specialist. Basically, we look into cases of discrimination. So if someone files a claim that they've been done wrong on the job by a supervisor, it comes to us. I work for the Office of Civil Rights. And so it's a pretty amazing job. I have to work on my inner self because some of the cases that I read really, gets under my skin because I feel I'm reading some blatant things that are wrong, but I am supposed to stay neutral, which I try and do very much so. I think you guys might hear some of my intimate thoughts sometime because it just, some people still get under my skin, but I still maintain and do what I have to do. So that is what I'm doing now. I love it. And I think I got a couple of more years in me, and then that's going to be it.
Oh, well, Mommy, thank you for that introduction. And I do speak for all of my sisters of how proud we all are of all of your service to the United States Air Force and even the work that you're doing now. So
thanks, daughter.
Thank you. Let's get started, lady. Do you need a sip of wine first?
Yes, honey, here we go.
Oh, my lifelong project gosh, it's going to be so exciting to see where this goes. But just the fact that you're a part of it, we'll figure it all out. You just got to be a part of it. So, Mom, where do you want to start? You said you thought about what am I going to say about my body story? What part of your journey? How old are you, Mom?
I am 58.
Okay.
I'm 59, April the 18th. I'm a very proud Aries, honey. Don't get it. Okay.
True fire. True fire.
I think I'm a cool Aries. I think Aries sometimes we get a little bad reputation. But you know what, Natasha? Funny enough, my very first recollection of being like, oh my God, what the hell, was after I gave birth to you. And here's what happened. I was on maternity leave, right? And so I had 6 weeks before I had to go back to work after I gave birth to you. And, in the military, 6 weeks meant 6 weeks, okay? Some women as time went on, they took more than that. But for whatever reason, there was always this feeling that was kind of frowned upon. So
unfortunately, it still is. But yes, yeah. I digress.
So in that 6 weeks, I had to get my body back in not shape, but in somewhat, so I could get back into the uniform, right?
Right. Yeah.
Coco, I was maybe a month into being at home with you.
Okay.
I don't know what made me one day decide, well, let me go try on the blue pants, the blue military pants, not the BDUs. We called them fatigues back then, right?
The blues, yeah.
So to put them pants on, honey, and I could not zip them, and I couldn't get that tab over. And Coco, I'm not a meltdown type of person like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
At all.
Coco, I had a meltdown on the spot, right? I was like, oh my God. I mean, I felt myself just freak out because I knew I had to get these pants back on in a matter of 2 weeks, right? And the way nothing was budging, I just thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? Coco, I even called your father, all right? He came home from lunch and to calm me down, basically.
Mom, was the freak out because you knew you had to be back in your uniform and you couldn't zip up? So it had nothing to do with you feeling any way about your body?
Gosh, no. I just couldn't get those pants zipped. They were snug in my stomach. Yeah. And but Mother Nature is something kind of wonderful because, Coco, I was young. I had just turned 20. I had been an athlete all my life, literally. So in that next week, incredibly, somehow or another, my body just went on and bounced back because I was nursing you. And hell, I didn't know when to stop nursing you. I was nursing you at the time, Coco. And so, it just, next thing you know, it was time for me to go to work, and boom, boom, bam, I was back in my uniform. And, within time, it didn't even look like I'd had a baby, but I was so much younger though. I was young. So I think that's why, but that was my first recollection of feeling like, oh my gosh, but I can't really tell you when I start feeling any way about wondering about my body. The next time would have been probably after I had Tasia, but remember I was in my 30s and it wasn't coming off as quick. I had you and Noel and Santana, like boom, 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 right? And how many years did I go? And then 13 years. Well, let's see.
13. Yeah, I was 13 when she was born.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and now I got this kid now, and I'm like, oh shoot, this ain't coming off like it did in my 20s.
Yeah.
just that I thought about that in Panama, but then I started, we worked out. We had to work out, but we also was working out as women. We would run that, what was that thing? Satana came down the hill, honey, on her bike and crashed.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
We used to run that, but it was safe. I don't want nobody to think we put her on a safe trail. She just was coming fast, but it was, but me and the girls would get together and we would walk that or run it. So I still was working out, Coco. And I think that's why I was able to maintain, right? And so,
can we take it to you being an athlete as a kid, Mom? What sports did you play?
Oh gosh, anything my mother said to do, I did, right? Like she wanted me to do baseball because it was something that she enjoyed. I don't even remember how I got into baseball, but we both was playing baseball, right?
I remember.
Baseball, swimming, of course.
Yes.
Was just absolutely everything. Swimming was my first love, but I was a hell of a track star at one time, girl.
All right, Renaissance woman.
No, honestly, it was Sharon who could run. Sharon, that's right. But I did the 50-yard dash, and then I was part of the relay team, right? So I still ran. I mean, you saw my little ribbons in my book.
Mom, you were, I mean, my sisters and I were obsessed over your yearbook. Like we had names for everybody. We had our favorite people. Right. But you know
really what? I come home and look at the album that my mom put together for me. And I'm talking about like the piano, the commercials, that kind of frou-frou side of my life.
Yes.
Are still in there. Oh, don't forget gymnastics. And then I was in ballet.
Gymnastics?
Coco, yes, I was in gymnastics.
Mom, I never knew you were in
Coco. Like
a structured class. Like you were actually.
I feel like I did it in junior high. And
I bet I bet the girls do not know this.
Girl, the balance beam. I had the nerve to be on the balance beam. I think I had a couple of floor thingies that I did. I was probably like 7th, 8th grade or something like that.
Okay, yes. Mom. We got it. Let's just, because you're saying, first of all, I knew I would learn something new. But I have to tell you, growing up, Mom, when I knew that you were an athlete, because I really wasn't much of an athlete at all. Like, I just wasn't. I played basketball freshman year. That was it. Wasn't coordinated.
Had your nose in the books, girl. So.
But Mom, as a kid, I remember being fascinated with the fact that you were an athlete, and most particularly as a young woman who was just uncomfortable in my body, it fascinated me that you were on the swim team. Can you talk to me a little bit about, as a teenager, growing up in LA, going to a really cool school? I was just obsessed with your high school. What did that feel like, Mom, in like putting on a swimsuit, competing in a swimsuit? Like, did that ever make you conscious of your body in a different way?
I can honestly say, Coco, no. And Coco, I was always like on the skinny side. I was like skinny coming up.
You were.
All right. And so, if anything, probably when I got in high school, I started developing, as my mother would say. That's when the little breasts pop out. And, once you start having your cycle, your period, your body just becomes a little bit more womanish. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I would be annoyed with is if I had to go on a swim meet and I was on my cycle. Because your grandmother was very, very old-fashioned, Coco. She did not believe in tampons, period. Mm-hmm. Okay?
And you wore tampons, though. I thought you wore tampons.
I snuck and wore them.
That's right.
Because my mother wasn't buying them. She was buying them big old pads that was like this big, I couldn't be swimming in that or going to competitions in that.
Yeah.
I was tall and always tanned, and what was there not to like? I guess that was never a problem with me in my swimsuit.
Were you ever aware of like maybe teammates? Did anybody else ever seem self-conscious to you?
No, we were in California. Everybody was so cool. You got to figure, Coco, most of these people I went to school with since junior high. Yeah. One of them elementary school together. And then now we're in high school together. It's almost like them. Like and nobody was looking at each other like that. There was only one dude that was on there that was real fine, Ernie Galante, I think that was his name. Anyway, outside of that, everybody else was just like, ta-ta,
So then
nobody was looking at each other like that. We were just cool on the swim team together, and it wasn't that type of party back then. It just wasn't.
Because
I mean,
mom,
you
I
guys
just
were a
had
lot more. I think y'all was a lot more grown and fast in your day. You know what I mean?
what?
We just
Are you kidding me, mom?
not
Back
you
in the
guys in
day,
particular.
y'all
I'm talking
were
about, well,
mom, back in the day, I feel like I mean a lot of stuff has evolved, but I remember mom
yes.
dazed and confused. Like, come on.
True.
Everybody had
Yeah,
their
but
layers.
yeah, Coco, I didn't have a problem with in high, I didn't feel that way when I was
So collectively body story, mom, what about looks? How are looks like, because the body story is everything. Like I mean, you saw Noelle's interview. She talked about her height and her shoe size. But like
mm-hmm.
when it comes to when you think about your body story and even like what were looks, how have looks been seen? Like how, like growing up in California, really just, I mean,
Well,
because to me, mom, you're
I can tell
gorgeous.
you, I can tell you how I was raised, and I can tell you how I raised you girls, right? I used to say, don't be stuck on yourself, right?
Mm,
Don't think you're so this and that. You've heard that not all your life, but up to a point where you knew, I get what mom is talking about.
yep.
Okay. It was always about from what was within. But have I experienced things maybe because of some of my features? Sure. I'm not going to say no, that did not
Right.
happen. But that's not been my measure of success. Like when I walk into the room, am I going to have the prettiest face in the room? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And how I governed myself. I
Yeah.
always make sure my outfit was well appointed, though. You hear me? My shoes, my purse, whatever I was wearing, and that's how I was raised. And that's not being, stuck on yourself or being vain. That's just keeping yourself up and being well appointed. Like the way you look right now, you look absolutely beautiful, Coco. You look well appointed. You
Thanks,
know,
mommy.
just a very lovely, classy look. And there is nothing wrong with a young lady or a lady of my age stepping out that way. So I would be conscious about how my attire looked, because my mother was big on that, but my mother didn't, she was very clear on, don't think that because of your looks or whatever, you're not better than somebody else. And so that never left me, Natasha. That's never left me. And all my friends that I've known for 20 plus years, and I feel the same way about them. We don't get down like that, and I don't think that anybody can say we've been that way with one another.
What way?
Just that we're stuck, and nobody, and not many of my friends. Have you ever heard me say, yeah, my friend thinks she's just, none of my friends behave that way. I don't behave that way. Like I think I'm all that when I walk into a room because of my features, right? I know that I'm not the baddest chick, but I'm not looking like Powwow Dookie either. So been blessed, Coco, and I know that, but I don't use that as my first line of, let me see how I can use this to get something. I don't do that.
Why do you feel being well appointed and presenting yourself has been so important? Like something that you have, I mean, obviously you heard this from grandma. This is what we knew growing up. But why do you think there was such an emphasis on that, mom? And why there is,
I,
even now?
I don't know. I really can't tell you what my mom's emphasis was, other than I guess she didn't want people talking like, oh, what a tacky look, or what does she? My mom was a seamstress, right? And she was a fashion plate before fashion plate was even a word. So
Yes.
very, very important to her, but it was also important what was inside of you, how you were with people and how you gave time in yourself. And I saw my mother do that, right? And so I saw that. So it was a combination of things. I don't know if when you say looks, that's really the most that I know is how you're presenting yourself on the inside, and you got to make sure your outfit is together. She was just serious about that. And Coco,
What were some no-nos like in your mind right now, mom? When you like outfit together, what is something that's like,
well, you know what? You girls have really got me on some other type of shit sometime, Coco. You got me wearing a different color purse with another color pair of shoes, and I'm like, wait, hold up, I don't need
yay?
right? But in my household, your shoes and handbag, they were called handbags. Okay.
Yes.
Your shoes and handbag had to match. And if
Yes.
good shoes, Coco, I'm telling you, you've heard the stories how my mother did me over clothes and perceived, like, she thought all I could afford was JCPenney's at times, but she, mom had her own standard in terms of how
You're talking about all you could afford was JCPenney's with like growing up with us at times compared to
at times, times were very lean as a single mom. I did the best I could, but I tell you one thing, you guys always looked crude.
We did.
You guys always looked well appointed. Nobody could ever say, Tina got them kids out here looking any kind of old way. You weren't dressed old fashioned. You were within your age. And I'm pretty sure I let you guys have a say. I don't think I just went out and bought. I'm pretty sure you guys had a say of what you liked, didn't like,
Sometimes we would be matchy. So, we'd be coordinated. Like I remember my outfit being coordinated with Noelle sometimes.
I just thought that was cute because I had these 3 daughters, stair-step kids, and you a twin. So, and it was just, it was some lean times, but I tell you one thing, I always made sure that you all was properly put together. And if I couldn't do it, my mother made sure that, I tell you, my mother could be borderline insulting. I love her. May she always rest in heaven.
Yes, but Grandma.
I remember sending you guys to see her, and she never put nothing I bought, she put on you guys. She went out and bought all new stuff. And I, you know what, Coco, I had to sit in that one.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Let that one sizzle in your spirit. I had to sizzle in my spirit. I bought what I could afford.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, she might as well have said, well, you could have kept that at home.
Oh, it sounded like her too.
Coco, I sent you guys stuff with new tags on it. That stuff came back still with tags on.
But Grandma, she had to know you were doing your best with what you had. Grandma was always more luxurious that way.
I mean, and of course, she helped me always, with the winter. That was always such a big help through the years. I knew Mom would always make sure. Mom was going to always make sure you guys had shoes that were right, Oh, the dressing part really had to be something. And I even now, Coco, I got to make sure that I'm right. Now, sometime around here, the way I run around in Waldorf, girl, one time, Coco, I ain't going to tell you what I had on.
I've been at the house and I'm like,
that's different.
I'm like, Mom, are you about to step outside?
Sure was. But when it's time for me to get down with the get down, I thank my mother for teaching me how to coordinate and put things.
Yes, yeah, Mom, you do. Mom, you're sharp. You are sharp.
And you know what else Mom always said is less is more.
Yeah. Ooh. What? Oh, let's talk about that. What are your staple pieces? Like for you to feel complete and pulled together and comfortable and sexy. What are your staples, Mom? What do you think?
I'm showing you now, honey.
Definitely hoop earrings.
Got to have the hoops, Coco. I've been rocking hoops since I was able to buy, probably 18. So I love hoops, and I have in this. I should have put my big ones on. Put my bigger ones on.
Okay.
In my closet, Coco, I have to have a couple of pairs of nice black slacks.
Yes, staple.
I have to have a lovely crisp white blouse, a couple of them.
Yep, staple.
But I also have to have an assortment of lovely silk blouses, which I have.
Yes.
I do believe, Coco, that I need to have a lovely, lovely boot every year, a really nice. And
all of your boots look the same. It's the biggest family debate.
Coco, be that as it may, there is something different about each and every one of them.
One little gold, small little buckle on like the heel, the zippers on the opposite side.
I'm pretty sure I bought you a very nice pair similar to what I have that you still love. I bought you about 4 pair now that or at least 3.
Okay, sis, let's that's a good transition, Mom.
Okay.
Let me tell a story that I recall, because through the years, this family, there's been an ongoing joke about the shoes that I wear. Oh, there's the look. Do you remember when I was in college and I came home to visit y'all when you were stationed in Turkey? There's a glare, Mom.
Those green the green.
See how you remembered the shoes right away?
Yes.
Well, as a mom who likes to be appointed, why is it important for you to see your children looking a certain way, even at our age now? Why does that matter for you?
Well, because for one, you're a reflection of me and a reflection of Berthina Louise. That's always going to be. Okay. I'm a reflection of my mother, right? And I believe that you are a reflection of me. And not saying, and you guys are a reflection of your father as well, but I'm talking about in my presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would I be out there looking dope on a rope and then having my daughter walking beside me looking all disheveled, Coco? You know what I'm saying? That was never going to be. I'm never going to be looking better than my kids.
Yeah.
The problem I have with you girls is, especially you, Miss Sensitive.
Oh, let me adjust. Do I need to take a sip of my tea?
You don't like when I make fun of your little shoes or something.
I don't.
But Coco, it's not like I don't replace them. I could see if I was like, oh, I don't like your sandals, but if I don't like them, I'm gonna go out and buy the ones.
So, Mom, that for you, that's justified. You're like, I see my daughter's wearing something I'm not a big fan of. I let her know in my mommy. You have your sweet way of saying it, but you let me know.
Right. Natasha, I have heard how mothers tell their daughters how they don't like something. And I said, boy, if I ever spoke to my daughters like that, they wouldn't have anything to do with me. And here I be like choosing my words carefully so I don't make nobody mad. I would just come out and say exactly how I feel about this instead of being tiptoeing around. So I think when I see something, and Coco, you know how I am, like I want you to be in age appropriate, because I feel like sometimes maybe the shoes were a little bit on the comfortable side. I'm choosing my words carefully.
Hold on.
They were just for
being funny, Mom. Don't choose your be no filter on that. Like, what do you really want to say? Like, just honestly, no filter.
I look at you and I'm like, look at this girl. Look at this badass. Why is she running around in them Dr. Scholl's shoes like that?
Mom, because they're comfortable and I had stuff to do.
I said it. Coco, well, you know
Mom,
what?
I'm 38. I got to be comfortable. I will not walk around uncomfortable.
I'm 58, boo. I'm 58, but I'm not wearing Dr. Scholl just yet, honey.
Okay? Mom, Dr. Scholl's has stepped their design up, so go ahead and check it out.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be glad to look at that. But yeah, Coco, that mother would be the same way. If there was something she wanted to see me have on or whatever, she would just buy it. Like, she probably knew I couldn't afford to or wasn't going to, so she would get it. And I don't think y'all should be insulted by that, because I'm your mom. And if I want to in this, because Coco, you know I have great taste.
And Mom, here's the thing. Everything you get me, I was telling Noelle the other day about the text you sent me. You're like, already asking me what I want for my birthday. I told you I want a standing desk.
I'm still waiting on the link today.
And I told her the story. I was like, I told Mom I want a standing desk. And then you came back with, are you sure you don't want like a new pair of shoes, or you made some suggestions of something more, a purse, something dainty. Yeah. And Mom, I laughed at it because I'm like, that's the stuff you like to gift us with. You like to gift us things that will complete an outfit, or that you'll like to see us wear when we go out with you. So I've really
hold on, Coco. Just admit, any of the things that I ever bought you that you wore, how did it make you feel?
Oh, fly.
Okay.
Elegant.
That's all I'm saying.
Attractive.
So Coco, I will buy you the desk. If that's what you want, I'll get that for you. But I was all like, damn, I sure was trying to get her, a little bit.
But honestly, Mom, I think we'll talk offline, but I think a pair of black boots, I think that would be better. So we'll talk later.
Okay, we'll talk offline.
But I want to bring this back to you, because I think as a mother of 4 who's been a mom since she was 19, it is very easy to really divert and bring stuff to us. And I guess we are a part of your body story, but I want to keep this about you, Mom.
All right. Sorry.
No, it's no, I'm going to just throw out something right now.
Go ahead, baby.
Go ahead. I will not forget. This was a few years ago. I don't know, maybe a few years at this point, when you came to my sisters and I and said you wanted to get a breast augmentation.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom, my instant reaction, I can still remember very, very clearly right now. I remember thinking, like, why would my mom need to do anything with her breasts? They really are beautiful. I think for breastfeeding all 4 of us, you had awesome breasts, Mom. But I think after hearing and you taking, first of all, you just saying, girls, I shared this with y'all, but this isn't up for debate. I'm doing it. It is what it is. And us kind of like sitting with that, and it really felt, I had a different perspective after you got it done. So can you talk a little bit about your decision to get your breast done?
I'd love to talk about it, because it wasn't as easy as that as you're maintaining. You got the whole family intervention, Coco.
It was, Mom, we were stunned. We couldn't believe you were going to do this.
Okay. So can you believe this? I actually told this to Santana. I remember, for like, which daughter am I going to tell first? I told Tasia first, because, you know, she's the baby. She's low key, mellow. She doesn't trip off of nothing, right?
Gen Zer.
Right. Okay. So then I'm like, out of them first three, who is going to have something to say? And, you know, back then, Santana was, well, she still is, very opinionated about things, right? I remember telling Tasia, I'm not telling Santana till last, because I thought I hit the roof, right? But when I told you and Noelle, I was like, well, hell, I might as well have told Santana first, because
I don't know why I reacted that way. I
don't.
don't.
Coco, you girls even said, have you been watching too much reality TV, Mom?
Yes, we did say that.
I was like, these kids. And then I explained it like this, Coco. I remember saying, we women, and you too, Coco, and anybody that's listening, married, single, whatever, we stand in the mirror every day looking at our body naked. I do.
Me too.
We pull up, we pull out, we pull in, we stretch out, we bend over, we do this, we do all kinds of things. Well, what if this didn't? How would this look? Da, 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 da. And these can be very, very, very private moments. And I think you girls were so shocked, because we share so much, that you didn't know this about me. And it wasn't anything that I woke up and said, I think I want to get my breasts done. It, for a while, you know, that I had been thinking about it. It had nothing to do with reality. Give a shit about that. To me, theirs look way, way faker than mine. I think mine.
Yours look great.
I said, I've also been told they feel quite natural. So anyway.
Well, they look great, Mom.
Thanks, daughter. So, you know, I had done, and I think I was like, why these girls don't trust me? I've done my research, and I just went on and did it. And funny enough, then I told Santana, and she was wondering why you and Noelle had a problem. And I was like, well, hell, I thought you'd be the one with the problem.
You got that all wrong.
Yeah, she was like, no, Mom, I think it's a great idea. And I did it in 2017. And but Coco, don't forget what happened in Turkey, though, what little procedure I had.
You know what, Mom? I forget about that all the time. Maybe because I was in college and not there.
That one is the shit. Okay, so I'm going to just be very, very honest. I'm going to let everybody know what I've done to my body, okay? I've had a breast augmentation. I've had an abdominoplasty. And honey, I do not miss my Botox appointments up here to get okay? I'm gonna be very clear, because as you get older, even now, people get what you call the number 11 in between here, right here. The next time you look at somebody, look to see if they have that number 11, and it looks like a permanent frown. And I don't want to be all frowned up. So yeah, I go and get my Botox.
So, Mom, to a woman that heard what you just said, and I, because I know you, I love you, I literally came out of you. Yes. I hear you say that, like you literally leaned in and showed us. Somebody else might watch that, Mom, and be like, this woman should just let her face just do what it's going to do. How do you feel about that? Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
From the eyes down, this is all me. This is all natural. I haven't done nothing. I'm not, the girls have told me, you guys have said, Mom, don't do nothing else. And I'm not. But I noticed when in my 40s, and I remember thinking my lines were kind of cool at first. My frown lines were a little bit on the cool side.
Okay.
As I got older, I think I went for something and it was suggested, and I had heard a lot of women do it, and I thought, you know what, let me just see what it does for these lines. And Coco, I ain't gonna lie, it was this one, it was that number 11 that right here. It begins with the G. I don't know the proper term for it, but it's number 11. Okay. So I got it done, girl. They hooked me up right here. 11 was gone, and I just had this pleasantness up in my forehead, because your forehead will age you. Yeah.
And you've talked about the key, you've talked about forehead. You've also talked, I've noticed, about the neck.
Okay. Well, I do be looking at my neck, you know, and I know
you talked about that.
I'm starting to do this every night now. I use a very good night cream. You have to really invest in good night creams, I believe.
You've been telling us about night creams for years, Mom.
Yes. And I wish that I had started in my 30s, because Natasha, you know what I put on my face in my 30s and my 20s.
Baby lotion, just lotion.
Oh,
you were just
honey, Johnson's baby lotion was the stuff. Okay. So anyway, Natasha, so I do, you know, rub up with my neck, because your neck also to me holds a lot of age as well. So I haven't done anything like that. I'm being very honest, and you girls know what I've done, but I have no problem with getting my Botox in my forehead. And the girls, you guys tease me. Hell, I've asked them when you say, well, Mom, what should we get you? I'm like, give me a coupon to get my Botox done.
And we do.
That. So, okay. So outside of that, of course, I had a breast augmentation, and here's why.
Okay.
You know, Coco, and I appreciate you thinking that my breasts were still in okay condition. They weren't horrid by far.
Not at all, Mom.
Coco, as you know, they never stopped the party, if you know what I mean. So it wasn't even that. Because one thing, ain't no man going to tell me, oh, I think you need to do this. So, you know, no man got in my ear because, you know, I don't get down like that. So it wasn't that. It was just me.
Yeah.
I want them to be looking in another direction. And so that's why I wanted to get them done. And I'm so happy that I got it done. And if anybody, one of your friends want to talk to me about it, Coco, I'll be more than happy to speak about it. I actually got a lift and a transplant. I mean, girl, yeah, lift and a transplant. Girl, I said transplant. Implant. Okay. And here's why. So I was a solid 36D, but a saggy 36D. To me, it was saggy. And as a matter of fact, the doctor used the word saggy. I mean, they weren't down to my kneecaps, but they had a sag to them. Okay. So I thought, Coco, that I could just go in there and they could slap an implant in and they would just be all perky and stuff. And he literally said, putting an implant into your breast will only give you a bigger sag. You need a lift. So when he lifted my breast, Coco,
okay,
we'll clean out all this tissue. When he lifted the breast, he said, without an implant, this is what your breasts are going to look like. So when he lifted the breast, Coco, it would have been a B cup. Okay. It would have been a very small breast, perky, but small, but I still kind of wanted to get to my C again. And so that's how I ended up with the size that I have. Now, let me talk to you about the abdominoplasty. And for those that don't know, that's the proper term for basically getting a tummy tuck. Okay. So I had 4 children, and I'll be honest with you, my stomach area took a hit, and I was never able to get those stomach muscles tight. I was able to squeeze them down in clothes and jeans and dresses and put on the drawers to keep everything tight and all of that, Coco. But when you took everything off, it was still like this pouch. So, but it wasn't nothing that bothered me. You never even really heard me speak about it that much, Coco. You knew.
I mean, you never talked about like body image, and my mom, I would never associate that with you ever.
Yeah, I walked around. You saw my body. I never did anything from you. Yeah. So anyway, Coco, I had an assignment to Turkey, and a very good friend of mine had this procedure. Right? She had a small one though. And I told her, I said, I don't even think you needed to have one at all. I said, look at this shit. And I pulled out my and she just started laughing, okay?
Oh, Lord.
So she told me about her doctor, and I thought, where would I ever get this opportunity to get something like this done at this cost? I did research on the doctor. Him and his wife had both studied in America, and for 17 years, actually, and practiced. Okay. This in America, but they decided, hey, we're going back to Turkey, open up our own business, which is the right thing to do. So I felt very, very good about his and hers credentials, and I trusted my friend. Okay. Tasha, when I went to see him, girl, I had the nerve to ask for a liposuction first, just to see what people would do, right? Okay. And, you know, doctors will be just brutally honest.
Very, it seems like.
He took my stomach in his hand for like this minute. He said, lipo's not going to do nothing for me.
Oh, wow.
And I'm all looking down at it while he's flapping his skin in his hand, right? Okay. I said, okay, well, then now what? And Natasha, he never, ever, ever said, you have to have a tummy tuck. He said, if you want to see the results, it was just almost like putting a big old boob into an already saggy boob. It just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. Giving me lipo around here, that was still muscles that had just grown apart. When it was done, Coco, and I'll get to that. I've got to remember what he said to me. He told me no matter how many sit-ups I would have done, my stomach muscles were 8 fingers apart. Like he sewed them back together, but that's how much the space was.
Wow.
But stomach muscles, Coco, fingers. And that's just from having you babies like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah. So $2,500 is what he quoted me. And I was a first sergeant. So trying to roll out for a surgery like this was like, how the hell am I going to pull this off, Coco? But I'm going to pull it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to my commander and I told her what it was that I was going to do. And that I told her I needed this amount of days. I said, in conjunction with this weekend, I'll be back and be ready to rock and roll. And Coco, that's what I did. I had that surgery. My friend and her husband took me down there, Coco, and she even spent the night in the room with me, Natasha.
Oh, wow, Mom.
And it was because Coco, oh my God, girl, at one point I was in the room and the doctor, there were like 6 or 7 people because they were like studying and he wanted to show them what he had done. Wow. And Coco, my blood dropped, my something dropped. Okay. And I was about to pass out. And right away, he took my feet and put them up in the air. And I'll never forget what a relief that brought. He put my feet up in the air and then whatever came back to me.
Probably the blood rush. Yeah.
It could have been everybody standing around me. So Natasha, let me tell you something, girl. First of all, I don't know how the hell they got that thing on me after the surgery, girl. When I woke up, I was in the tightest corset thing. I was all buttoned up and zipped up, and I thought they had a laugh getting this shit up on my ass up in that operating room. But Coco, it was on all neat and stuff. It was like a full body full, and it was tight in the middle because you had to keep your stomach super, super, super tight.
Wow, Mom.
They took off 8 pounds of fat. And when I tell you that was the grossest looking, he showed it to me. I mean, of course, I wanted to see it.
Oh, Mom.
This is what carried my babies, right? So, it's just like a part of it. But when I body afterwards, Coco, that's where it was, where I saw where my money went. Because when I got pregnant with you, Coco, it literally woke up and started getting stretch marks. And I just was like, oh my God. I started getting stretch marks. Your dad went out and got coconut and made pure coconut oil, Coco.
Yeah.
Oil in Alaska, and would rub it on my stomach to try and minimize the stretch marks, Coco. But somehow or another, it just.
And my skin, I think all of our skin is similar to yours, like very sensitive to stretch marks. And that's been I told a girlfriend of mine, one of my biggest fears of like pregnancy is like stretch marks, even though they're already.
Don't worry about them things, honey. That's just a part of it. And if you think that's something that men look at and be like, tripped out about, no.
They're already there, but it's like when you have a baby, it just, you just never know what's gonna.
That was my skin. See, you can start once you get pregnant. Like I waited too late. My stomach had already started getting big when they started popping out. But when I had this surgery, you saw, Coco, my stretch marks used to be above my navel, kind of. It started above my navel.
I'm sorry, Mom.
That's okay. When I had my surgery, Natasha, what he did was with the abdominoplasty is they cut me from hip to hip. And the cut is so low, you've seen it. I can wear a bikini, nobody would be none the wiser.
Yeah.
What he did, he sewed my stomach muscles because they were 8 fingers apart.
Yeah.
He sewed my stomach muscle together, Coco. Coco, I can still feel that tightness. And this happened in 2005.
That's incredible.
So they pulled that extra skin, that 8 pounds of fat. So now that's gone. So those stretch marks those were cut out completely. But the ones I still had, they're way up under now my navel. They went further down. So I don't have them there. Obviously, they went up under my knee. So having the abdominoplasty probably got rid of about 70% of my stretch marks.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, and then it took off 8 pounds of fat. And Coco, it just leaves me with a not flat, obviously not flat like y'all's, but better than what I had going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd wear a bikini and not be tripping.
Yes, you would. Yes, you have.
Bikini. I prefer, a whole piece because I find them sexier, Coco,
You do pull a full piece off sexy because you always have a
I do.
little side out or something
Something
sexy in
out
the
or the
back
boobs out,
or a
you
one
gotta have,
strap.
yeah. So,
Hmm.
all right. So that's what I
Mom,
have
that
done.
I've learned that you did gymnastics, and I had never heard this story of the turkey story. Like never ever heard the steps of your surgery.
What?
Mom,
How?
this is the feet going above the head, the friend in the room.
Yes,
I've
but wait,
never
and
heard this.
let me tell you what else, Natasha. And when you have surgery inside, okay, he could have sent me home. Some women get sent home with like a tube, and they have to drain that tube. And
Mm,
he sent me home like that. He took the tube out. However,
okay.
that water and excess stuff pooled inside of my body. So that's why I had to keep things very, very constricted to kind of work that water out. But one time my stomach had gotten so full. And so on my follow-up appointment, like 3 days later, Coco, listen to this. He put a syringe about this long into my stomach and
Oh,
to drain to drain,
liquid.
didn't feel nothing because it was numb. But girl,
Oh,
out so much. I had to go back a couple of times for that to happen. And then pretty soon it was all gone. And then I had that stomach, Coco. He repositioned my navel, so and for
so
$2,500, Coco, do you know what that would cost here in America?
I mean, Mom, this was a long time ago too. I was in college when you did
And
this.
I imagine now in Turkey, what we paid then in America is probably what they're charging because they probably realized that, damn. And it was Coco, when I tell you it was full first class, everything, the
Mm.
hospital town in Turkey was wonderful. The nurse just, and like I said, my girl stayed in the room with me. And I'll tell you who it is later, of course. And we were up in there laughing and cutting up, and she spent the night in the room. And then her husband came and picked us both up the next morning. And I went on home. And when I got to the base, because I'm an open book, my
You are.
girlfriend, my girlfriends knew I was doing this, right?
Yeah.
One of them, and I'll have to give her a shout out to Ty. She had the most delicious ribs ready for me when I came. She
That's
came up to
somebody
the
who
room
knows
because I
a
was
friend.
hungry. She came up to the
Oh my
room, brought some ribs, Coco, and a sweet little plate. And I
God.
just had friends that came by and they checked on me, and it was a seamless process. So that's what I have done to my body, and I have absolutely no regret. I never had any problems from having that surgery,
Hmm.
and I didn't have any problems from having the implants. It's just that I got hit with breast cancer. So, but even
You
that,
survived.
I'm okay, and I'm here talking to you. So,
Yes, you are. Gosh, Mom.
mhm.
I don't even know like what angle to take from here. I just feel like it's just, like so much of your body story. I think what's hitting me right now as your daughter is wrapped up into us.
Think so?
I mean, is that selfish to say that? Is that not? Maybe that's a far
You know
fetch,
what,
but like,
Natasha? I can be honest with. I have to be honest with you, Coco. Talking to you now about body stories was easier than talking to you about it when you was coming up.
that's probably a good angle, Mom. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How was it knowing, I mean, I talk very candidly about it now. It's probably why this is my lifelong dream is to do this. It's probably why I'm obsessed with talking to women about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was so self-conscious as a kid. And I know it started after you and dad divorced, but I was just deeply self-conscious. I overate. Wasn't comfortable in my body, just awkward.
Right.
Why, how was that
And you know
like?
what, Coco? I never saw that in you. That's the thing that even to this day, and I put this on everything. I never saw that in you. I never express it. I don't know if you told your sisters. I don't know if you told girlfriends. We started talking about weight and how you felt about it probably when you got into high school, when we moved into the house in San Antonio after it had been built, right?
Mhm.
And you and I had discussions, and I just didn't know how to approach. And of course, I remember one time you and your sisters you and Tiffany getting smart. Well, Mom, if we had a car, we could go to the gym. Remember that?
I do.
Every morning at 5 o'clock, and I was at the gym at Kelly Air Force Base at 6. Remember?
Hmm.
And so, Coco, when you got your car, I was like, okay, that's their reason. All right, she has her car now.
Mm-hmm.
Need you guys get up and follow me to Kelly. And remember that lasted all of,
Not long.
and then you guys lost full interest in that. And then
Yep.
I just, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to fool with it anymore, because hell, I had to keep myself together, because remember, Coco, I told you when I got my stripe for master, I was considered overweight by Air Force standards, honey, and I had to get it together before I put my stripe on. So to say that, I know what it's like. Now, we have to be careful when we say struggling with weight. Your struggle is your struggle. My struggle is my struggle. You might weigh more than the next person, but that don't mean they don't have a struggle.
Yes.
Okay. And I think what you might have saw and what your sister might have saw, well, mom, she looks cool to me. You know, what's she tripping about? But oh no, honey, Terry can attest to that. You know, he would have to talk to me about it. And, you know, Tina, this is what you need to do. Because he was practically a built-in nutritionist right up in the house, you know. So stop fooling around at Chacho's, and because we like to eat.
We're foodies. We can't lie about that.
You know, so, but yeah, Coco, that was a very stressful time. And I was trying to be a first agent, and I had to get it together. So I do remember that was probably the next time in my body story when I think about, I got to get off this weight. I don't work too hard to make this stripe. And now I can't put it on because I'm considered overweight by Air Force standards, which to me, I wasn't. Okay. I wasn't.
To us either.
You guys wouldn't have been none the wiser, but they had this whole thing of they measured your neck, they measured your waist. I was so glad when I didn't have to do that anymore. And you talk about such a relief. And I know I speak for a lot of my friends, both men and women, who dealt with, you know, the whole weight issue and making sure it wasn't going to interfere with you getting promoted.
I remember hearing that so much through the years, Mom. We'd be at somebody's house at a card party. It was just always PC testing. I just remember Air Force. Y'all were always talking about that.
Yes, Coco. I mean,
I remember there was like, people would take teas and pills. I remember fad pills and trying to lose the weight. I remember that so much.
All of that, water pills, you name it. And we did. And so Natasha, I totally got off of all that kind of stuff. Like, I never do that. I just, you know, I never was a dieter. I never did the, what's the one where you don't eat carbs? And I just kept telling myself, let me just keep working out. And that
actually makes me think, Mom, of, oh gosh, I still can just remember the emotion when we went I was in Weight Watchers in college, and when you went to a meeting with me. I don't think you were in Weight Watchers. I think you just went with me.
No, I joined to be.
Did you join? Okay.
I joined. I paid for you and I to go.
Okay.
And I, like yesterday also. Because Coco, I was desperate. I was trying anything that I could to help you. And I remember scared to have the conversation with you, but you actually agreed with me. And what had happened was you'd come home on break. I don't know if you remember, Natasha. I think that when I say I took you guys to Lane Bryant to shop, what people need to understand is I was in there mostly for your jeans, because they had good jeans always. And if you found a top cool. If not, I never pressured you. You guys got your own top, but I wanted you to have some nice slacks, nice jeans. And some of the stores to me just didn't have good jeans for girls your age who was carrying a little extra weight. Okay. So I think the fact that it was Lane Bryant didn't sit well with you guys. Even though we all know Lane Bryant still to this day got very nice, high quality, good stuff. So Coco, I don't know if you remember that when you came home, I was buying you some jeans. I want you to have some black jeans. Either you wanted them. I just knew I was getting you some jeans.
Okay.
But I knew that you had put on some weight since you left home. But I was going to verbally say that to you. And I've been able to say that to you, but I knew I couldn't. But I knew that the size pants that you was bringing to me was not the proper size. Do you remember that exchange in the store?
I do very well.
I gave you the pair and you snatched them from me. You snatched them from me, and you know that's not how I get down, but I let you have that one. Because you're still going to try them on nevertheless. I just wanted you to try them on. When you came out the dressing room, you said, I'll get these. I never asked you what size. I never even said to you, see, I knew because I didn't do that to you guys.
Never.
But I remember in the store feeling like, why is this going on with her? but I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't
You
know
know, it's really funny that you,
handle everything when it came to you girls, because I did. But
yeah,
when it came to your weight, yours, not Tiffany, Tiffany was, Tiff, she's me, this is how I roll. And it wasn't nothing that it was anything bothering her like it was bothering you.
yeah.
But no matter what I'd say, Natasha, it just didn't well with you. And so to this day, I say, well, could I have said anything different? So let me ask you, Natasha, how would you have preferred that I handle those moments or those conversations? Now, I will admit to this to the audience, because I know you brought it up and I know it hurt your feelings, but I said it out of frustration, and it wasn't meant to be nasty or mean, because I've heard mean mothers, and that I'm not. But I remember out of frustration, you'd say you wanted to lose weight, but then I'd still see the same eating habits. And I remember saying to you, Coco, and you didn't care for it. And I get it. You're like, I said, Coco, you should not be wearing the same size as me. Still to this day, I don't think that was an awful statement. I just don't. But it was to you. So I apologize, Coco, if that really hurt you like that, it was not meant to do that. But I don't know what I could have said that would have made anything correct.
And yeah, I think that's the answer, Mom. I nothing that, and it's me now being an adult, literally making this my life's passion, coaching people for a living on this.
Full circle.
Full circle. There's nothing you could have said, Mom, at all.
That you never felt like I made you feel some type of way because you were uncomfortable with you. I was never uncomfortable with you or you girls, and never uncomfortable. There's pictures of us in all shapes and sizes. So I'm only taking a picture with the skinny child. I didn't get down like that. And it was never like that. And I just don't know. So let me ask you a question, Coco. How would you have handled that, or what would have made it better for you?
I really don't know, Mom. I had to figure this out. This was one of those, they say those life things, you have to experience the journey and go through it. That particular thing is, and look where it's brought me. Yeah. So I think you did.
When you said you were awkward, hell, if you were awkward, I didn't know it. And I'm sure your friends didn't know it. This is news to me.
But Mom, that's why body image and the internal stuff is it can be very puzzling to somebody who hasn't experienced it, because it is very like just how you're seeing yourself,
Yeah. But there's people who actually have body images and how they feel. They talk about it all the time. Like, never saw it interfering with how you grew, how you associated with people, how you gave of yourself, how you received love, gave love, how you was in school, how you were with people. I never, ever saw, I never thought, I knew it troubled you at times, but to me, it never interfered with your purpose, though.
It didn't, but it did hold me back from doing a lot of stuff I know I would have liked to have done as a teenager and even in college, just out of
really, Coco,
self-conscious.
That when you have your kids, and let's just say they are little thickums, you're going to still tell them that they're able to get out there and do those things. That was just you.
Absolutely. It was.
Don't forget, Coco, you played basketball. Let the public know now.
I was not good though, Mom. I love sports, but I was no athlete.
It don't matter. You still played ball, okay? So, all right.
But yeah, honestly, Mom, and I think, with all the reflections, I think just seeing you, knowing you were such an athlete, knowing like you would just give birth to us and get back to your size, like that's literally just was your flow our entire life. So there was always that kind of like, Mom's different from me because of that. Like Mom's body story, now that I can articulate in words, is totally different from mine. But you pointing out that everybody's is different. Like the stuff you laid out today on what you went through and 8 fingers apart and just, it's like, gosh, Mom does have her body story.
Yeah, I guess I do. You know what, Natasha? And also, I was bad with, when I say, let me be careful when I say this. I wasn't bad. I didn't feed y'all bad stuff because I cooked.
Yes,
cooked.
You did.
You guys had your vegetables. You had all your stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was to go out on Fridays because, like I said, money was tight for me, Coco. And it was so great when I could go out and buy you guys on a Friday, that 10-pack of tacos and shit. You got it from Taco Bell, and it came with, you guys would be so happy to get that. And when I, oh my
Oh,
God, this is what I fed the girls, but that wasn't an everyday thing because Sundays, you guys ate well.
yeah, we cooked. We
Yeah,
cooked at home. That's what we did.
yeah, but I did have snacks and whatnots and here's and there's in the pantry that I probably shouldn't have had, Coco, but damn, I
Mom,
want to
this
try.
is what at that time everybody was eating it. You couldn't see a commercial without Doritos or Coca-Cola. Like it was just, and
Okay,
these are things that we look back on. We see it's the times. That's how it was. Like seeing people
okay,
smoke on airplanes back in the '70s. So that was just one of those things, Mom. So
yeah, okay.
that's nothing.
And because I wish that I could go back and maybe change. But then what I finally did when it came to you girls, and I don't even know when I did it, and you probably didn't even notice, but I just kind of left it alone.
You did.
No more, didn't say anything. And this is what I saw with you, Coco. Came to DC and, I had been, of course you were here and I was seeing you all the time and such. And you had come over to the house on base when was I still active duty? I think so.
Yeah, you're active duty still.
Coco, I remember you came over there and you had on these little cute jeans, your sneakers, and you had a t-shirt tucked in with a belt and a baseball cap. And you were getting ready to leave. And I was like, Coco. I was like, girl, what's going on with you? I said, you look like you melting away. Because even then, I didn't want to say you losing weight. I didn't know what I could say. So I said, melting away. I thought, well, can I say this? I wanted to compliment you, Coco, but I didn't want you to be like, oh, you're noticing my weight. No.
And even hearing that, Mom, your intent is so positive.
I think people need to get off that. I'm not saying that's how you were. It's just that's how I was conditioned to think, right?
Yeah.
But people say, "Oh, girl, you looking good. Look like you losing weight." I take that as a compliment. Some people are like, "Oh, did you think I was fat or something?" Like
everybody, yeah, it's how people hear it based on their experiences, Mom. It's true.
Yeah, I've never felt that way.
Me neither.
Oh, you must have thought I was fat or something. No, I'm simply. I can tell that you've lost some weight. But anyway. Coco, I said, Coco, you look like you're melting away. I said, girl, you're looking good. But I've always told you guys you look good. You
always have. You always have.
You've never been known you look good to me.
Yeah.
Right. So you said, well, Mom, I've been doing a little running. And I was like, what? Clutched my pearls. I said, hey. Because Coco, running, that's not something, I did it in the military and hated every bit of it. Even low key that I could be a runner. And I always had kind of runner's envy. Maybe that's why it gets me annoyed.
Yeah, it's great.
So Coco, and you said to me, Mom, I'm here in DC and this is such an active town. People are out there every morning. People are running. And you said, and I just kind of started doing it. And Coco, as I looked at you, to me, you looked like you had lost already like about 20 pounds to me. Mm-hmm. It was such a difference.
Wow.
You kept on with it and you haven't looked back. So
yeah,
what happened is that you finally said, this is my journey and I'm gonna do this when I do it. And you did it. So I think that I remember that conversation in the driveway. See, y'all think I don't remember. I remember everything. Remember that, Coco. And I remember being so happy, like, oh my God, she's going to enjoy it. She's enjoying this. And I just thought, great, because you were just saying it with so much gusto. Yeah, Mom, I'm running. And then, you became a spin instructor and the rest is history. So.
Which, by the way,
maybe our body stories in some way, Coco, maybe, maybe there is some things there, some parallel. I don't know. I mean, I'm your mom, we've talked about bodies and all of this for years, but I just want to be more comfortable in speaking to you about it now.
And I think you are, Mom. I know you still, I can tell when you still choose your words just because, it's just, I've made my entire life, but I still am dealing with my own personal things and I feel comfortable sharing
Which I will never understand.
I know.
I think my girls are all of that. Like, what's the problem? Right? Because that's how I look at it. Everything is not going to be perfecto. It's just not, Natasha. Yeah. What we do take is what we have and that we've perfected, and it's just all wonderful and glorious. And we just be happy with that. So as a mom, if I'm looking at you and I'm hearing you kind of like bemoan something like that, I don't always get it because I'm like, well, hell, what does she see when she look in the mirror? Because I know what I see when I look at you and when I see you, Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I know that's within yourself, you and other women. There's just certain things within yourself that until you feel comfortable with it, don't matter what I'm necessarily telling you. And I see that now because I feel like a mother's words should always be a cure-all for all. I do. I really do, Coco. Because
That's why I'm laughing. I know you do, Mom.
yes. So when I'm telling you, Coco, you this, blah, 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 I'm thinking for you to take that and be like, okay, Mom, yeah. But I also know that it has to be when you're good and ready. And I know that.
I'm so glad. I'm glad
As a
you
mom
see
to
that,
you
Mom.
girls, I mean, my goodness, it's an ongoing learn. I'm constantly learning.
And this is why I have to have a 3-part series with you. This is only part 1, Mom. I have like so
Okay.
many, this has opened up so many other layers and things I want to like sit with so that I can really have some good, clear questions for you. But for this,
Okay.
Mom, I really just want, I knew I would learn some new stuff. I just thank you so much for just being transparent, and you're 100%, anybody watching this that knows you knows this is 100% who you are. And I really thank you. I know you said something, it definitely touched me as your child, but somebody watching this, they're going to take something away. Maybe somebody that was contemplating getting work done. Maybe somebody that was judging somebody in their life that wants to get it done, and now you've said something to make them think about it differently.
I
Maybe
hope
somebody
so,
who,
because you know what? That ain't nobody's business what you want to do with your body, girl. If you want to throw a something up here in your forehead, yes, you got the funds to do it. Because anything I've ever done, I paid for it. I didn't ask nobody to buy it. I didn't ask nobody to take care of me. No, and nobody should have anything to say, especially in my research and I've got a reputable doctor. And and let me just say this, Natasha,
yeah,
my was so bomb, he wouldn't touch me until he got a complete okay from my primary doctor. Not only that, I had to do a heart test and something to make sure that I was good to go before he even laid hands on me. So you have to get a reputable doctor. And I don't regret anything.
I know you don't.
I don't
And
regret
why I'm happy we could be honest with this, because I wanted you to be honest. This is kind of, this is hashtag everybody's getting work done. We're hearing it left and right, but I wanted, you're my mom. So I feel like you sharing this story, it has a different feel to it. So I really do appreciate you being so real, Mom.
Yes, Coco, sure. No problem. Now, one thing that you were asking me when we talk about things on our body, I'm not sure if you asked me this. What part of my body do you know what part of my body that I'm not too fond of, Coco?
Your legs, your calf area.
Oh my gosh, girl, yes. Now I got some nice thighs. But from knees down, girl, I did not get calves like you and Noelle and Tasia. Me and Santana laughed. She said, yeah, we got dead legs from the knees down. Our legs from the knees down are a little bit on the skinny side. And I wish that I could change. And you're going to be like, Mom, put some weights on and start lifting. I don't want to do that. I just want my calves to be there. But
your calves are fine, Mom. You wear long dresses and you wear pants most of the time. You don't ever wear shorts. You're not in short skirts.
But when I go to Florida, all of that is about to change.
This is true. This is true.
So maybe I will throw some weights around my ankles and start.
Well, lifting. That might be a good plan. We could definitely entertain that. But Mom, part 1 of more. You're down, Mom, for 2 more interviews.
Sure.
Okay, good. Because
I gotta put on my bigger boots. All right. And you just let me know when, Coco.
I will. I love you so much. And I just want to thank you for sharing part 1 of your body story, and to be continued.
All right, Coco. Well, thank you so much. And I do love that chartreuse on you, honey. You should do that more often.